It's 5:30 p.m. We will get started in about 10 seconds. No problem. All right, good evening, everyone. Today is Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. This is the regular meeting of the Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees. My name is Vivian Malaulu, and I am your board president. The time is 5:31 p.m., and I would like to call this meeting to order. We had no items in closed session. I would like to invite Kim Hammond to please lead us in today's flag salute. If you could please lead us in the pledge. Thank you.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And just for the benefit of the public, Kim Hammond serves as our Student Activities Director, and she's here for one of our resolutions, which will be coming up on the agenda shortly. At this time, we will move on to the land acknowledgement. Long Beach City College acknowledges our presence on the traditional ancestral land of the Gabrielino Tongva peoples. This land remains unceded territory. We acknowledge the painful history of genocide and forced removal from this territory. Long Beach City College honors and respects the Gabrielino Tongva ancestors and their connection to this land. Madam Secretary, roll call vote, please.
Virginia Baxter.
Here.
Herlinda Chico.
Present.
Vivian Malaulu.
Here.
Uduakcho Entuck. Sunny Zia.
Here.
And Student Trustee Gonzalez is absent.
Item 2.5, we have no public comments on agenda items. Item 2.6, are there any requests from my colleagues to reorder the agenda? All right, moving on to section 3 of the agenda, resolutions recognition. We do have a couple of resolutions and recognitions here. Item 3.1 is a resolution for disability history and awareness. I do need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees adopt resolution number 100924A, recognizing Disability History Week and Disability Employment Awareness Month as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
We've got a motion by Trustee Baxter. I'm going to give the second to Trustee Chico, who also got in on that motion. And for the benefit of the public, all of our resolutions are attached on board docs. And we do have a speaker here who will come up and say a few words. We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? Seeing none? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take, we don't need a roll call vote on this. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion carries. Erica Thomas Edens. Did I pronounce that correctly? Is it Edens or Edens? Edens, Interim Director, Disabled Student Program Services. Please, welcome.
Thank you. Good evening. Hello. Good evening, esteemed board members and the LBCC administrators. Again, my name is Erica Thomas Edens, and I have the privilege of serving as the Interim Director of LBCC, Disabled Student Program and Services. It is truly an honor to address you today. I want to extend my heartfelt thanks for recognizing disability history and awareness at LBCC. Your commitment to highlighting the contributions, achievements, and challenges faced by people with disabilities is truly commendable. This acknowledgement is a significant step towards fostering a more inclusive and supportive environment for all students, staff, community members as well. LBCC students, staff, and faculty look forward to celebrating the resilience, achievement, and invaluable contributions of people with disabilities in our community. As we move forward, let us continue to learn, listen, and advocate for a future where everyone has equal opportunity to thrive and be heard. So I just would like to say this is really an exciting time for the DSPS staff collectively because we feel that together we can build a culture that's rooted in understanding, respect, and celebration of diversity. So I just want to say thank you for approving this agenda item, and it's truly heartfelt. Thank you.
Thank you, and thank you for those kind words. Just for those of you who are not aware, this is the second time, I believe, that the resolution is on our agenda, and it was initiated by our very own trustee Chico, who really spearheaded this effort to make sure that we recognize not just our students, our disabled students, but the entire community and those who contribute so much to the fabric of what we have here in Long Beach. So thank you both for doing that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. We're going to move on to item 3.2 on the agenda is also a resolution for Filipino American History Month. I need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees adopt resolution number 100924B, recognizing Filipino American History Month as submitted. I heard a motion by trustee Untuck. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by trustee Chico. Any discussion on this item?
Second.
We've got a second. Any discussion? All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Excellent. And we do have two speakers who will be joining us at the podium to say a few words. We've got Alex Luong, LBCC rep for the APID group, interim director, fiscal year, I'm thinking fiscal year, first year experience, programs and Title V. And we have Cyrus Fernandez, LBCC rep, APID group, and HR analyst. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Board of Trustees and LBCC executive leadership and colleagues. I'd like to introduce myself as Alex Long. I'm currently serving as the new chair for the APID Employee Resource Group here on campus. And before coming up, I really thought a lot about what I would say in this space, and I really thought about how we have 365 days in a year, and we have 12 days in a month. And we all know everyone in this room, especially everyone up here, are very busy people. And sometimes it's really easy to get lost in the daily flow and the routine of life. But if you're lucky, every now and then, you get to have a day that you never forget. Recently, I had one of those days when I met our next speaker, who's about to come up and tell you a little bit about the significance of Filipino American History Month. So ironically, the man that doesn't need an introduction but is getting one anyway, I would love to introduce you to our APID Employee Resource Group Secretary, Cyrus Fernandez.
Thank you so much, Alex. Thank you so much for the Board of Trustees and for the administration for discussing this resolution that we have here today. My name is Cyrus Fernandez, and I get the very esteemed privilege to talk about Filipino American History Month. And so Filipino American History Month is a time to celebrate the wonderful diversity of the heritage and the richness of the culture of Filipinos and Filipino Americans. It's a time that we get to recognize the contributions of many several Filipinos in the past who have paved the way for others and made the path for other Filipinos a little bit smoother, all by their bare feet. Many of these Filipinos have held positions in the community, in the government, in the economy, and in education. But beyond celebrating just the significance of just contributions of the Filipinos and Filipino Americans, Filipino American History Month is about sharing the stories that we all carry with us, the ones that we carried from the Philippines to the US and everywhere around the world. And these stories become part of us inherently, and our stories that we have are all part of a struggle, a challenge, and even even many triumphs. And and when we get a chance to allow to share these stories, it transcends boundaries. Sometimes it even transcends time. It's a reminder that we all have our shared challenges and that there are opportunities within these stories that we can share. And it's within these stories, there's a great amount of wisdom and depth and strength that can be transmitted over and over again. In preparation for this moment, I was actually lost for words up until I actually messaged Alex and said, hey, can you give me a couple pointers of possibly to help shape this? And he actually posed a very good question for me. What does it mean to be Filipino at LBCC? And so growing up in Long Beach, I was blessed to be surrounded by a very diverse neighborhood of people, a beautiful halo of other Filipinos, Cambodians, Samoans, Black and African Americans, Latinx folks from the Latin American diaspora. I grew up with this in my own backyard, and I was very blessed to have that. Part of being also an immigrant is that my mom and my dad and I and my older brother immigrated to the U.S. in the 1990s. And part of immigrating to the U.S. was also learning how to fit into American culture. That often meant learning how to be quiet and not to speak so loudly. And so I remember the first time I was told in school that I was a little too loud in class. And that did not bode well with my own parents. I remember distinctly my mom asked me, "Bakit ang lakas ng boses mo? Why is your voice so loud?" And as my dad would always say, "Oh my God, Cyrus, why is your voice so loud?" And so, as a former LBCC student and going through K through 12, I've learned to stay quiet and silent on a lot of things. Very afraid to ever really say anything to reveal any true feelings or even what I meant. But even now, as an employee of LBCC, I get the chance to exercise what that voice sounds like. And it's a voice that's helped me be able to heal others. It's a voice that allows me to help dream big for others. And it's a voice that has helped bring out a lot of other voices to the forefront. And so I've learned to keep this voice, keep it loud, and keep it, and make it known. And it's a voice that I've only recently discovered while working at Long Beach City College. And it's a voice that that I hold very dear because it's a voice that was born at Long Beach City College. And so it's with great honor and privilege that we get to share this resolution publicly and openly. And I have the esteemed honor and privilege to even talk about it with this group here today. So thank you all so much for this resolution, and hope we get to practice more of our voices and practice these voices as loud as possible. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Board of Trustees and Administration, for your time.
Thank you, Alex and Cyrus, and your words are very touching. I don't know about any of you, but I was one of those kids that my report card often said talks too much. So if you're a talks too much kid, raise your hand. Right? So, and look at where we are now.
That's right.
It's the ones who talk too much who end up hopefully in places where we can help others who maybe don't talk as much as we do and can serve as a voice to them. So thank you very much.
Maraming salamat.
Yep, thank you. All right, so, we have had this resolution on the agenda for several years now, and something I've been very proud to support. Item 3.3 on the agenda is a resolution for LGBTQIA plus History Month. I believe this is also a resolution that Trustee Chico initiated a couple of years ago. Was this yours?
No, I think we were doing this one. It was Harvey Milk and
That's right.
Pride Month for June.
Harvey Milk, that's right. Okay, so it was Trustee Untuck. I know that it was a recent resolution, so thank you for that. I need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees adopt resolution number 100924C, recognizing LGBTQIA plus History Month as submitted.
So moved.
We've got a motion by Trustee Zia, second by Trustee Untuck. Any discussion? All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, and we have two speakers here with us today. We've got Kim Hammond, Student Activities Director, and Dr. Jerome Hunt, Professor, History, Political Science, and Ethnic Studies. So please join us.
Okay, sorry. Good evening, esteemed Board President Malauulu, fellow board members, and administrators. I'm Kim, they, them. In addition to my work in student life, supporting student leaders, I serve in various capacities for our LGBTQIA+ students, staff, and faculty. On behalf of the LGBTQIA+ Employee Resource Group, we express our heartfelt gratitude to the Board of Trustees for adopting the resolution today recognizing October as LGBTQIA+ History Month. In a time of uncertainty for our trans folks and the LGBTQIA community nationwide, this resolution stands as a beacon of hope and solidarity. This resolution acknowledges our history, honors our struggles, and reaffirms the commitment to creating a safe and inclusive environment for all. We especially thank Superintendent President Dr. Mike Munoz for his transformative leadership here at Long Beach City College and unwavering support of our community. As we celebrate our rich history, let us also remain vigilant in advocating for equity and support for every individual. Together, we can foster a community where all identities are embraced and valued. Thank you for your commitment and continuing to show actionable support to our community. Thanks.
Well, I would also like to echo what Kim had to say. And just on a personal note, I'm thankful to be at an institution that allows for both faculty, students, and staff to be their true, authentic selves. That is something that can't be taken for granted at this given time, considering the number of anti-LGBTQIA+ laws that are popping up across the country. So I just want to thank the administration and the board for your continuing support for the community. Our students definitely feel that and are definitely receiving that love and attention that they deserve. And we're also happy that on Thursday, we will be having our annual lavender pinning ceremony to welcome our incoming LGBTQIA+ students. So we're looking forward to that. So thank you very much.
Thank you both for being here. Appreciate that. And again, this is also a resolution that we've all been really proud to support. For those of you that aren't aware, you really do feel a shift in the culture on campus when you are welcome and when you have a sense of inclusivity that resonates from the faculty down to staff, down to students, down to just guests on campus. So it is noticeable, it's palpable, and we really appreciate the work that's being done for that because we know that you're also on the front line making sure that our students have that representation. Thank you. All right. Yes, so for those, and I'm sorry I neglected to announce this earlier, but for the three groups that got the resolution, I wanted to wait until after to do the photo. So we're gonna, please join us here and then we'll have photos individually, separately for all three. Thank you. Okay, we are going to move on to section 4 on the agenda, which is our standing reports. 4.1, our ASB President Report. Chamonix Harris, come on up. I look forward to the enthusiasm and energy with which you share your report with the board. No pressure.
Yes. So good evening, esteemed members of Board of Trustee and Superintendent Dr. Mike Munoz, faculty, staff, and my fellow students that are here today. I'm really excited to be here today. We have a lot that's going on campus, a lot of positive progress that's going on, a lot of events. When I was writing my report a while ago, I was like, oh my goodness, I can't put everything on there. I have to cut it down. It was so much. So today I'll be sharing a few updates. Tomorrow, October 10th, from 1 to 2 p.m., there will be a ballot proposition review workshop with the local League of Women Voter in partnership with the History and Political Science Student Association Club in B202. We also have a California Community College Student Affairs Association Student Leadership Conference this weekend in Los Angeles. 11 student leaders from campus will be attending that conference. Also, currently we're working with the athletics department to spread more awareness to the upcoming events or games on campus so everybody can be aware. What we've been doing thus far, working with Student Life as well to make sure all the A-frames are out in the yard so students could see what's going on in the moment that they're walking through. And looking forward to having tables outside too, like information tables, so students could stop by and ask us questions. We'll be having resources out there for students as well. And I had I reached out to Cal from athletics and I was like, I want to share a report. And I got so much. So this is one of them I had to cut down to as well. But amazing things are happening there. The women water polo, they have scored like 18 to 1, and they rank number 1 in the state. So it's like, yes. That's awesome. Also, in support of online and evening students, we're trying to get clubs more involved to reach these students' needs by making these club meetings available via Zoom so they could take part, because that's something that they had addressed, or they made a feedback on not being able to attend these meetings throughout the daytime. So, for example, the social work clubs thus far has leadership position where online or evening students could take part in. That could solely be just being a social media person that gets the information and posts it online just to get students involved, because we want to reach everyone. So we're working on that just to get more clubs involved so our online and evening students can feel inclusive in what's going on campus as well. We move into ASB After Dark. Last month, it was a big hit. Like, students loved it. They came out. In less than an hour, everything was gone. So we're really happy for that. For this month, on October 22nd, from 5:30 to 7 p.m., this will be in the T Quad. We'll be having a regular snacks, grab and go for students. The basic needs will be there as well with the Viking closet and information for students, just for the evening students that are coming in, ones that are leaving, heading home, so they could grab something. We're also having it at the TTC campus this Wednesday the 23rd from 6 to 7:30 p.m. And that will be in between the DD and GG building. Upcoming event that's going to be so interesting for all students, and I'm looking forward to this event, will be the Student Town Hall with Dr. Corral and Dr. Lee Douglas, myself, and student trustee. This is where students will get an opportunity to come and voice their concerns and feedback that they have on campus, and we're working to get everything in order for students to come out and feel inclusive within our campus community so they could meet all of us. And I am extending, if everyone can attend, we'll appreciate it. Looking forward to see you guys there. That will be next week, Tuesday, from 4 to 5 in T1200. Moving on to VAC. So I know I mentioned before that we're trying to bring more visibility and engagement to both campuses, and the Viking Activity Council has been working on a couple of events. They're actually working on an event that's going to happen next week, Wednesday, from 11 to 1 p.m. This will be the TTC rebranding kickoff. This will also be in the EE Quad area where students will be promoting the 75th anniversary. There will be refreshment and food for students to stop by and grab something while they interact with each other as well. And also the homecoming. The theme for this year will be Monster Bash, and that will be October 26th on a Saturday from 11:30 to 3 p.m. at the LAC Vet Stadium. So everyone is invited to that one. Also, the Halloween Carnival. This one students are really excited for. This will be on November 1st. From 5 p.m. to 9:30. So this is a really exciting event, right? So we're bringing more visibility to the TTC campus so you can see all these events that are going on. They will have a movie screening in the lawn area in front of the EE building. So students could come out in their groups and connect with each other so we could build better community on campus. And that will be the end of my report for today. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shamini. We have no item 4.2. Our student trustee is not here. Item 4.3, Academic Senate President Report, Dr. Jerome Hunt.
Good evening, Board President Malulu, Superintendent President Munoz, distinguished board members, and colleagues. I just have a couple of updates tonight. In terms of study abroad, 2 programs were approved for study abroad for summer 2025. They are Art 10, which is art appreciation. They will be going to London, and it'll be led by Tanika Washington. Anthropology 2, which is cultural anthropology, will be going to Ghana, and it'll be led by Ama Bakshawa. In terms of online education, on October 3rd, our OLET team hosted a peer online course review, or what is known as POKER, information session, where faculty learned about the process of developing an online course in alignment with best practices of the Online Education Initiative. And later this month, they will be hosting a workshop series focusing on exemplary online teaching that features faculty that have gone through the POKER process themselves. Those instructors are Tricia Willing from Reading and Teacher Preparation, Edward Chen from Psychology, and Desiree Monterrero from Communications. They will be showcasing their extraordinary online courses with the aim to inspire their colleagues to continue trying new approaches and to begin design and pedagogy in their online classes. And that concludes my report for this evening, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Hunt. Item 4.4, Classified Senate President Report, Benjamin Chase.
There you go. I just want to make sure Dario had a chance to get it up. As you'll see in front of you, you see the Classified Senate Report for October 2024. Go ahead, Dario. For it. This was from the President's Office Open House. I just want to see, he's not here. He was here a few minutes ago. I was Mike Clark Kent and Superman and Jonathan Tejada from one picture with his glasses, one without it. I just always want to say thank you to Dr. Douglas for supporting us in making sure that we do exist as a classified Senate at Long Beach City College. It's his encouragement that continues us on. So I always want to draw attention to that and thank him personally for that. Next slide. This is from Classified Professional Development Day. This is close to the most of our council that we've ever had in one spot this year for it. We still missed 3 that were there that day because they weren't at the same spot for lunch as we were for it. So, but I just want to thank everybody for coming out. Ashley's here tonight representing as well, our treasurer. Thank you. For next slide. For it. And especially for me tonight, I wanted to thank all of our committee representatives that we have currently representing the Classified Senate, critically because we are just entering in either the first or the second month of meetings for participatory governance. And so I wanted to make sure I acknowledge them. For Adult Education Subcommittee is Judy Quilliton. For Budget Advisory Committee is Steve Skill. For College Planning Council is myself, Ben Chase. For Campus Safety Advisory Committee, Matthew Sagata is the tri-chair. Ariane Lee represents TTC. Ty represents DSPS, and Gina represents LAC. For EMOC, it's Eva Jimenez and Judy Quilliton again. Next slide. For Equitable Placement and Success Subcommittee, it's Kimberly Kuraz and Kira Beckett-Lemieux. My new colleague in Enrollment Services, I'm very happy to have her from Admissions and Records serving in that role. Facilities and Advisory Committee is Camille Bolton and Dielle Finney representing TTC. For Faculty and Staff Equal Opportunity Committee, our new tri-chair is Sarah Mace and our representative is Sharon McMahon. For Guided Pathways Subcommittee, our tri-chair is Sharon McMahon and Jennifer Lara is representing Universal Design for us on that committee as well. Next slide. For Institutional Technology Advisory Committee is Jonathan Tejada. For Online Education Committee is Susan Fentlin. For Student Success Committee is Ashley Rippian in Athletics. For Strong Workforce Subcommittee is Alexander Dickinson. And for Student Equity Subcommittee is Sharon McMahon, Kim Heyman, she's gone. Oh no, she's still here. They're still here for it. Thank you, Kim, for representing for us, and Ashley Rippian again. Next slide. So critical things we want to announce. This has been sent out to all the classified members, but just letting everybody know we have classified Senate Council meeting on an unusual day and time. We're doing it next Wednesday at 2 p.m. in W201. And Herlinda recognizes this photo. This is from last year. So next slide. And this is why. So what we're doing at the end of our meeting, we've talked about this with Dr. Munoz in building community amongst yourself. We're having it called Classified Senate Break at the women's water polo match. So we're inviting our colleagues to come out at 3 p.m. to 3:30 for their break time to enjoy on the pool deck and take in the #1 women's water polo team in it. From what I was told, it's supposed to be a good match for us to be at. It's not one that they're expected to win 25-1 like they have earlier this year for it. Next slide. My colleagues were here earlier. I wanted to highlight the kickoff event for them for October's Filipino American History Month, specifically on Thursday, October 17th from 12 to 2 in the LACA quad between Building A and East Carson Street. Be sure to come out and check out the fun music, festivities, dance for it. And there's a bunch of other events. I invite everybody to click on the calendar and you'll see the things. They were updating as we produced this, so I didn't want to list things because we did change some of the film screening dates and stuff, and I don't want to confuse people like, it was the 22nd. No, it's the 29th for it. So I kept for this slide only for this. Next slide. In Critical One, I've been serving as one of the committee members on for the planning, and Dr. Cookard. We want to celebrate the 75 years of excellence for Long Beach City College's Trade, Technology, and Community Learning Campus, formerly known as Pacific Coast Campus, or People's Caring Campus, as many of my colleagues that currently work there still feel about it. We want to invite everyone to the block party, so that means everybody here. I hope to see you there. Bring their family and friends. We're planning a really cool, awesome opportunity to get to know the college, to showcase some of our events and activities, as well as our local community members for it. So I'm excited to see how it turns out, and I'll be there for that. And again, that is located at 1305 East Pacific Coast Highway, Long Beach. I know if you Google on Google Maps, it's still gonna say PCC. Just know that that's coming, that things will change. We just have to work with a bunch of agencies to make sure they recognize it properly for us. Next slide. And last but not least, as you can see, I brought some of my friends with me today, my ducks, to give some thematic options for folks for us for the Save the Date Halloween party that we're going to have on the 31st from 11:30 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. in the E-Quad on the Liberal Arts campus. Music, dancing, treats, and a costume contest specifically for students and for staff, employees, faculty, 2 separate ones. I think we're gonna still have group and individual for it. At least we did for our classified folks last year, so there's some really cool themes. I will let you know my enrollment services colleagues are hard at it. They nominated, I wanna say like 26 different ideas today. They're voting on it to narrow it down to 3. And then from there, we'll have our theme concept. I said we're going to try to rival a little maybe of what Exec did last year for it. But I hope to see everybody out there for that. And thank you, Dr. Munoz and Shana. Shana's here. I was trying to fire for putting that together for us and making sure that we shepherd this event through and bring our community together and build strong together. Thank you.
Thank you, Benjamin. All right, we're going to move on to item 4.5, LBCCFA Bargaining President Report. Suzanne Engelhardt.
Good evening, distinguished members of the dais. My name is Suzanne Engelhardt, the Long Beach City College Faculty Association President, representing full-time faculty. This year, similar to last, Faculty Association will be sunshining soon. This year is not a successor year where the entire contract is open. It is a reopener year where we may have one non-fiscal with an indirect expenditure limit of up to $5,000 per party in the 2024-2025 year. Similar to last year, we will negotiate by committee. We will continue with transparency with the district bargaining team and our FA members. We will also share our membership bargaining report with you in this space during the Board of Trustee meeting. Also note that full-time faculty are 10-month employees. This means we are on schedule working during the fall and spring semester. We are off schedule during the winter and summer months. Please plan accordingly. We support the bargaining process at the table. We support transparency. We support unionism. I want to thank our full-time faculty for their contributions to the bargaining process. I want to thank the FA bargaining team for their work they have been doing and will be doing this coming spring semester. Good evening.
Thank you. We're going to go to item 4.6, AFT Bargaining President Report, Robert Remeda.
Good evening, Superintendent, Dr. Munoz, the esteemed board members. It is always a pleasure to talk to you. Tonight is pretty simple. I want to just say, the event, like everyone else has already mentioned, the event October 19th on a Saturday, we would really appreciate if all classified and the community attend this event. It's the highlight of this TTC campus. It's going to be a kickoff for an amazing time. And the community is missing something if they don't show up to this event. It is truly a jewel in Long Beach that needs to be seen. And the trades are of vital importance to the future of the college. And it's got a lot to show off. I hope all can attend. The other thing is, like I've said in the past, the classified support the bond measure. And we'd really appreciate that everyone in Long Beach vote for this bond measure. If you look at our campus, this is because of previous bond measures that have passed. We have done amazing work with this, and we want to continue to make future generations having these opportunities. Some of the highest technology, I think, in the state is evolving around our current programs that are coming out. We want to continue that forward thinking. We want to be the #1 college, community college in the state. And I think with this, it would really help our students achieve greatness that other colleges just can't provide. So thank you for your time. You have a nice evening.
Thank you. Item 4.7, CHI Bargaining President Report. Is Crystal here? Okay, section 5 on the agenda is our Superintendent President Report. Dr. Mike Munoz.
Thank you, Board President Malauulu. Good evening, everyone. It is my pleasure to provide you with updates for this past month. To kick us off, I want to extend a warm Happy Filipina, Filipino, Filipinx American History Month to everyone. Throughout October, we are celebrating the history and contributions of Filipino Americans at LBCC. We start with our kickoff event on Tuesday, October 17th at noon in front of the A building at LAC. This year's theme is Struggle, Resistance, Solidarity, and Resilience. Please check out our website for the list of upcoming events. I'm also extremely proud to report that Long Beach City College received the 2024 Higher Education Excellence and Diversity Award from Insight into Diversity magazine. This is a national honor that recognizes U.S. colleges and universities that demonstrate an outstanding commitment to diversity and inclusion. LBCC is the only community college in Southern California to receive this award, and there was only one other California community college as well that received this distinction up north. I believe it was Santa Rosa Junior College. And we will be featured in the November-December 2024 issue of the magazine. This was a very long application process, so I'd like to thank Dean of Institutional Effectiveness, Dr. Heather Van Volkenberg, and Special Projects Director Aaron Murphy for their stellar work. Thank you to everyone who assisted them in compiling information for the application who are listed on this slide. So just a shout out to Kimberly Kasuga, Dr. Sonia de la Torre Iniguez, Dr. Arania Freeman, Ivan Gutierrez Sandoval, Juliet Hernandez, Sid Leon, Deborah Miller-Calvert, Aaron Murphy, Cynthia Nunez, Dr. Elisha Sims, Cal Stewart, Dr. Heather Van Volkenberg, and Dr. Javier Villaseñor. Great job, team. I have some great news coming out of the U.S. Department of Education. LBCC was also named to the eligibility list for the U.S. Department of Education's inaugural Post-Secondary Success Recognition Program as part of U.S. Secretary of Education Cardona's Raise the Bar initiative. This recognition highlights our commitment to equitable access, student success, and positive post-college outcomes. Being part of this distinguished group of 200 higher education institutions across the country showcases LBCC's dedication to helping low-income and underrepresented students thrive academically and professionally. We are excited to share our story and continue our mission of fostering student success. So we are approaching the end of Latino, Latinx Heritage Month, but we hosted a wonderful kickoff event here at the LAC campus. We have a quick video recapping that day.
Let's give it up. Can we make some noise? How are we feeling today? Well, my name is Dr. Mike Munoz, and I have the great privilege of serving as your superintendent president here at Long Beach City College. It's super exciting to be here to celebrate the kickoff to Hispanic Latinx Heritage Month. I also want to acknowledge the folks that made today possible, our Dr. Sonia de la Torre, Dr. Eric Becerra, Dr. Noel Corral, our executive vice president, and the rest of the planning committee. Thank you so much. We know how important it is to have events like this that build community, to celebrate being in HSI, which is a Hispanic serving institution. I think it's so important that we create space where we come together and celebrate each other's rich history, culture, and identity. Again, with that said, I want to thank you all. Let's get back to dancing, having some good time, music. Let's continue the fun. Thank you, everybody, and have a wonderful day.
Thank you again to everyone who helped organize the kickoff and the many other events that celebrated the diversity of our campus community. I had the opportunity to collaborate with my colleague, Dr. Kathleen Acosta from Dallas, Texas, with the National Community College Hispanic Council Board on an article featured in the Community College Daily's September 19th edition. Our article discussed the importance of moving beyond simply being Hispanic serving institutions, also known as HSIs, to becoming Hispanic thriving institutions by fostering environments that promote success and leadership for Hispanic students and professionals year-round. I invite you to visit the Community College Daily website at ccdaily.com to read more. I was honored to participate in a September 25th call with the White House Hispanic Initiative. I was able to share insights on how federal agencies can better collaborate with and fund HSIs, especially those in the community college space. As you know, and many of our trustee leadership, we travel to DC different times of year to do advocacy. And when you look at the federal dollars that are available, they oftentimes go to four-year universities, R1. Community colleges are often at a disadvantage. And so it's really important that we advocate for these federal dollars to be directed to community colleges. So I was able to support that process. And so I want to acknowledge that I want to thank Office of Post-Secondary Education Chief of Staff Roxanne Garza for joining us, along with other HSI leaders to advocate for our students. I also had the privilege to visit Washington, D.C. and participate in another panel during Excelencia in Education's fall convening. I was proud to represent LBCC as I discussed the impacts of the Seal of Excelencia recertification here at Long Beach City College, our intentionality of serving Latino, Latina, Latinx students, and how we share practices with other HSIs. My co-panelists were Saul Jimenez Sandoval, president of Cal State University, Fresno, and Jennifer Engel, senior advisor from the U.S. Department of Education. I want to give a big thank you to our Human Resource Department, AFT, and our classified staff who participated in the September 24th Professional Development Flex Day. It was a pleasure to greet everyone in the morning session, which featured keynote speaker Dr. Alicia Kirkwood. In the afternoon, I was happy to host the Classified Appreciation Luncheon, where we recognize the hard work and dedication of our classified professionals. I was pleased to help induct Dr. Sharifa Batts, Long Beach Fire Chief Dennis Buchanan, Perrette Godwin, and Long Beach Councilwoman Megan Kerr into the LBCC Hall of Fame last month. The foundation also recognized the Long Beach Century Club with the Community Service Award and our very own Justin Mendez as a Campus Friend Awardee. Thank you to the LBCC Foundation for organizing this time-honored tradition each year. And here are some important items to put into your calendar. We are celebrating the 75th anniversary of the Trades, Technology, and Community Learning Campus, formerly known as PCC. Please join LBCC as we host a free educational community block party on Saturday, October 19th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the TCC campus. This block party will feature live entertainment, food, commemorative gifts, games, interactive booths, tours, and most importantly, demonstrations from LBCC's trades programs and other educational opportunities. Our community will have a chance to explore everything that is wonderful about this campus. while also honoring its rich history, legacy, and bright future. Another event we want you to take note on is the 2024 Monster Bash Homecoming Tailgate and Football Game, which will take place on Saturday, October 26th. It will be a fantastic day for our entire LBCC campus community to celebrate our athletes. Tailgate begins at 11:30 a.m. with kickoff against the Orange Coast Pirates. Boo. No, just kidding. At 1 p.m. and veterans, excuse me? It should be Saturday. It would not. Sorry, I think there was a typo on my screen, but we'll make sure everybody knows it's Saturday, October 26th. There will be fun games for the whole family, tailgate snacks, and field frenzy during halftime. We look forward to seeing everyone at homecoming. And in closing, of all my duties as superintendent president, this is probably my most enjoyable. In celebration of Campus Children's Centers Week, I had the pleasure of reading to some of the children at our TTC Child Development Center. As a former student parent, my daughter attended childcare on a college campus, and I can tell you it really played a pivotal role both in her development and my success. And so it was really great to spend some time there. And if you haven't had an opportunity, if you're faculty, staff, sign up. It is such a great experience to go and read to the students. They are so attentive. They get so excited when you come and visit them. And so I got to read Llama Llama Red Pajama. If you have not heard it, it is a vibe. And the students were like all into it, and it was a wonderful experience. So this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Munoz. We do not have any presentations for Section 6 on the agenda. Section 7 is the Board of Trustees. Item 7.1 is approval of our board goals 2024-2025. I need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees approve our board goals for 24-25 as submitted.
So moved. Second.
I've got a motion by trustee, was that Chico? And second by trustee Baxter. Any discussion on this item? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries, and Dr. Munoz is going to lead a discussion here with our proposed board goals. And for the benefit of the public, this is all attached on board docs.
Thank you, Board President. So trustees, you should have before you a handout that provides an overview of the Long Beach Community College District Board goals. As a friendly reminder, back in August, we had our board retreat and the goals were discussed. And at the time, it was recommended by the trustees to maintain our existing goals with minor modifications. There's a strike through on one bullet in strategic goal number 1, which is innovate to achieve equitable success. That removes a bullet pertaining to the pandemic and recovery, since through the discussion, it felt that we had made progress in terms of reopening the campus, and so that particular bullet did not make sense. And then in strategic goal number 2, and looking at monitoring strategies for improving college and career readiness for specific groups, the board recommended to include LGBTQIA+ as a population that we will continue to examine as it relates to college and career readiness and success in terms of closing equity gaps. So those were the 2 recommended changes, and so should the board adopt these goals tonight, these will become the new goals for the year. It keeps us nice and compliant with our accreditation standards, because as you know, each year you all come together through your board retreat and your self-evaluation process, as well as the revisions of your goals. So that concludes my update on this matter.
Thank you, Dr. Munoz. We will move on to item 7.2, which is the revised 2025 board meeting schedule. I need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees. I think we did. Yes, we did, sorry. All right, back to item 7.2. I need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees approve the revised 2025 board meeting schedule as submitted. I have a motion by trustee Baxter. Second by trustee Chico. We do have a change from June 18th, 2025 to June 25th, 2025. That's the only change. We've got a motion and a second. Any discussion on this item? I'd just like to know the reason for the change, if we can just share with the public why that's being changed.
Sure. As you know, in June, that also represents the end of our fiscal year, June 30th. And to be able to provide fiscal services with more time to prepare the final kind of numbers, that 1 week difference really will make a difference. And so we are recommending moving it back to the 4th Wednesday of the month so that we provide fiscal services with the opportunity to provide you with more accurate final numbers. And I don't know, Mike, do you want to add to that? Okay.
Thank you. All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Item 7.3, Board of Trustees report. Who would like to go first?
I'll go first.
Trustee Chico?
I really don't have too much of a report this month, but I did want to again highlight all the observations, all of the recognitions that the college is highlighting this month with LGBTQ+ History Month, Filipino History Month. These are really, really important. I think that continue, and Disability Awareness Month as well. It's really important that we acknowledge these particular groups and recognize and uplift. I'm sorry, I don't know why that word escaped me, but uplift all of the communities on campus. And I think that's it. The only other thing I was going to ask was, or talk about was our Dia de los Muertos again. I hope everybody has an opportunity to participate in Dia de los Muertos and remember our past loved ones that we lost. So that's my report. Thanks.
Thank you. Who'd like to go next? Trustee Baxter, Dr. Baxter?
Okay. I got to get the timer up here so they get the right amount. There, thank you. Good evening, everyone. I'm happy to give my report. On September 15th, I attended the AAUW board meeting. I'm a board member. On the 17th, I had the honor of kicking off the Latino celebration. The reason being I substituted for President Malauulu, my pleasure. And then on the 18th, I attended a Ronald McDonald House cocktail party. This year, in the past, they have honored a few good men. This year, it's a few good men and women. So I had to be there to cheer that on. On the 19th, there was a foundation meeting. And then that evening was the Camarada Gala, at which the Rotary Club was honored, and I'm a member of the Rotary Club. On the 20th, the Young Horizons had a wine and cheese activity fundraiser. Young Horizons is a child care center on the west side of Long Beach. On the 21st, I attended a cameo meeting. On September 26th, I attended the Todd Cancer Institute Board. I'm a member of that. Then I'm also a member of the Assistance League of Long Beach Scholarship Committee. We had our first meeting. And then in the evening, the Hall of Fame. And it was a great evening to hear from our alumni and the gratitude that they feel toward the college for helping them at the beginning of their lives' careers. Then on September 30th, I went to the Bond Oversight Committee kickoff, and I was so pleased. There were so many people there wanting to help and support our bond, and I just want to encourage people to vote on November 5th or before. I always vote on November 5th because I want to go to the polls and all that kind of stuff. Then on October 1st, I had the pleasure of returning to my alma mater, Occidental College. There, Jane Fonda spoke, and I thought she was a little bit older than me. She's way older than me, but she's in fabulous shape. And her latest thing is the environment and her concern about the future of our world. And she was very articulate and very down to earth. I was just so impressed with her. And excuse me, she gave an excellent talk. And then on October 5th, I attended the UW branch meeting. And on the 6th, Great Expectations, the Public Library Foundation fundraiser. And then on the 9th, today, I went to a luncheon that Congressman Robert Garcia put on about his work in Washington, D.C. Very well presented and all the different things he's doing to help support us. And then 2 more things. On October 24th, the Helping Homeless Students is having a program on campus from 4 to 6 in the T Building Lounge in the lobby. And what we're doing something a little different. We're not charging a fee. We're hoping people will bring their checks or their credit cards and make a donation. And we're going to, it's going to be in conjunction with helping our homeless students, but also honoring a woman who was very involved in the women's rights movement many years ago. Her name was, can't remember her first name, Pittman Hughes. And she was the co-founder of Ms. Magazine, and really didn't get a lot of recognition during her lifetime. She came here 3 years ago and spoke on campus and spoke in Long Beach, and so we're honoring her. Isn't that awful? I can't think of her first name. Anyway, I hope that you all will come and join us from 4 to 6 on October 24th. And then, sadly, I want to end tonight's meeting in memory of Beverly Norberg. Beverly died yesterday, and I just got a text today. She was an outstanding employee for at least 40 years, worked in student government with me, was never my secretary, she's secretary, ran the college center. She was the kind of person who could tell people to take their shoes off the furniture and all that, and everybody did it because they loved her, and she was a lovely, lovely person. And we'll miss her very much, and so please honor her by adjourning the meeting in memory of Beverly Norberg.
Thank you. We will do that, Dr. Baxter. Trustee Zia?
I don't have, should we start the time? I don't have too much to add to all the great things that Dr. Baxter just iterated. A lot of them, some of them I was also in attendance. I do want to address something that was brought up last board meeting. Because of the Brown Act, we can't really engage or respond to the public. October 7th marked the 1-year anniversary of Hamas attacking Israel. I had loved ones where Hamas attacked, and luckily they weren't held captive, but their neighbors were not so lucky. By the way, this gets televised, so you don't need to record it. It's on YouTube. You might want to save your video. I really think it's important to understand how nuanced this is. I have loved ones in Iran right now, and this is the second time we're going through this. I have loved ones in Lebanon who lost family members as a result of the attacks through the war. So it's very nuanced, and to try to put it in binary terms, just like gender, this is not binary. Life isn't binary. And we all share in a collective trauma. We're inextricably intertwined as Israelis, as Jews, as people who have loved ones in the region, Iran, Lebanon, Gaza, West Bank, Israel. So my heart goes out to all the civilians that have been impacted and who were uninvolved in the terrorism that went down in the region last year. I pray for safety, peace, and the return of hostages that have been held captive for more than a year now. And I hope folks understand there were also issues brought up that we did not take a balanced approach. And perhaps we need to examine our statements. I'm proud of this administration for standing up for people who were innocent and their lives were lost. We can always do better. If we need to, we will. There was an issue about BlackRock that came up. We did look at that. And other than the owner of BlackRock being Jewish, there was no money or dark money that was alleged that was going through to help aid the war or military warfare. So I just wanted to make sure that the public have the veracity of the information. There's a lot of information that is being espoused that the factual accuracy is not validated. We did look at that. Our financial people looked at that. I don't want to speak for our administration. I personally asked about that, and it did not check out. So just wanted to put those, correct the factual inaccuracies that have been espoused. And again, my heart goes out to all the victims, our Palestinian brothers and sisters who have loved ones here in the district, Israelis, Jews, and Muslims. As the only Jewish board member for the past 10.5 years, and it's my understanding I'm the first one, we represent less than 2% of the American population. And as a result of last year's attack, October 7th, anti-Semitism has increased by over 60% in the United States. If you're going to condemn one side, please also condemn Hamas as well and the terrorists that broke the ceasefire to begin with. Thank you. That's all I have.
Thank you. Trustee Untuck messaged me that he does not have a report. For my report, I would just like to share that on Thursday, September 19th, I started my day and ended my day with the foundation. The Foundation Board of Governors breakfast was that morning, and then that evening was the Camarada Gala, and I had the pleasure of being with the foundation at two great events in our community. On the 26th, I attended the annual Hall of Fame. Congratulations to all of our honorees. It was such a privilege to be able to represent the district in awarding those honors. The last major event, and I was really nervous, and I'm still nervous to share this, but the last major event that I emceed in 2019 before the pandemic hit was the Hall of Fame event. So I was really nervous. I had a little PTSD about that. It was a great event. Thank you to the foundation for all the hard work that you do to make that happen, and all of our community supporters. I would like to end my report by once again thanking staff for all the work they do to really uplift the culture on campus with a lot of the ethnic celebration events. It really makes a difference being on campus, hearing about it, seeing the celebrations on social media. I'm really sorry. This was the first year that I missed the Latin Hispanic Heritage Month celebration. I hate it that I couldn't be there. There was a schedule conflict. You have your Latina board president who couldn't attend that event, and I was very disappointed that I couldn't be there. But I did watch some of the celebrations on social media, and thank you to everyone who played a part in making that happen. So really important for our students of every ethnic background, of every religious background, of every cultural background to feel honored and celebrated and to know that they belong. They belong here at LBCC. With that, I'd like to end my report and just say that I do look forward to sharing in some of these celebrations for the rest of the month. We're going to move on to section 8 on the agenda, item 8.1. Do any of my colleagues have any item on the consent agenda that they would like to remove? All right, so item 8.2, I need a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda.
So moved.
I've got a motion by trustee Dr. Baxter, second by trustee Chico. Any discussion? All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries. Do you need a roll call vote on that? All right, so we will take a roll call vote on that. Trustee Untuck, I believe, stepped away from the dais momentarily. I'm not sure if he'll be a part of the vote, but we can go ahead with that.
Virginia Baxter.
Aye.
Herlinda Chico.
Aye.
Vivian Malauulu.
Aye.
Uduak-Joe Ntuk. Sunny Zia.
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, we're going to move on to Section 9 on the agenda, Human Resources, no items. Section 10 on the agenda, Academic Senate, no items. Section 11 on the agenda, Academic Affairs, no items. And Section 12 on the agenda, we do have an item, 12.1 is the 2023-24 CCFS 311 Annual Financial and Budget Report, including the 2024-25 appropriations gone limit. I need a motion and a second that the Board of Trustees approve the 2023-24 CCFS 311 Annual Financial and Budget Report, including the 2024-25 appropriations limit of the Long Beach Community College District, and authorize transmittal of the report to the Chancellor's Office, California Community Colleges, as submitted.
Second.
Motion by Trustee Chico, second by Trustee Baxter. Any discussion? All those in favor, do we need a roll call vote on that? All right, roll call vote.
Virginia Baxter.
Aye.
Herlinda Chico. Aye. Vivian Malauulu.
Aye.
Uduak-Joe Ntuk. Sunny Zia.
Aye.
Motion carries. Section 13 on the agenda, no items. Student Services. Section 14 on the agenda, Board Reports. Are there any items, any Board Committee reports? All right, and now we're going to move on to Section 15 on the agenda, which is public comments on non-agenda items. We do have 3 speakers. If all 3 of you can please approach the dais and be ready. The order will be Sky, Nina, and Tony. So once one is complete, please go forward and continue. Thank you. We have one more. So there will be a 4th one. Please be mindful of the time, and then if you can just follow each other. Thank you. The 4th one will be Oscar.
Hello. Just waiting for the timer. Okay. Wow, lots of new information has been learned today and yesterday. We had an event on campus yesterday in the A-Quad. We were approached by a member of the administration to tell us that the shares had been pulled away from BlackRock. And we just learned this yesterday. We haven't had time to fully look into this ourselves yet. I don't have much of a response to what Trustee Zia said today in an effort to be cordial. But I would like to highlight that anti-Semitism in any form is not acceptable, it's deplorable, and anti-Semitism is not the same as condemning genocide. Okay. Excuse me also, I'm recovering from a bit of a cold. The last thing I wanted to mention was what we came about here last month for, the Instagram post about the statement on the war in Israel. I just checked right before this meeting, it's still out, that I was able to confirm. And I know you can't respond directly to us at this time, but I would like to essentially just repeat what I said last month, in that a statement has a more powerful meaning behind it, has more of an impact. Your words are more important. And while at this point, simply removing the post wouldn't have as much of an impact, removing the post and continuing to be transparent with updates on things that are coming out, like we have no idea if the BlackRock divestment has happened. We were told that as of September 30th, it's gone away. But that's the kind of thing that you would want to communicate, right? That's something that the community would be happy to hear about, that we're not supporting a company that's supporting the weapons manufacturers that are sending weapons to Israel to aid in genocide. So really more information and more transparency would be a wonderful step from here. If what was said about BlackRock is true, we want to use that as a starting point for further development and further divestment. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Nina. I will not be directly engaging with any of Sunisia's comments on October 7th last year, as I think it is more important today to focus on kind of what has come out from that moment, that incident of violence. Just to echo my statements in last month's meeting, as representatives of an institution of education, you should all definitely consider the fact that violence, power, war, terrorism, these are concepts like that are framed in certain ways to advance different sorts of agendas. Violence does not happen in a vacuum. It isn't perpetrated senselessly by barbaric individuals. We are 80 years into a colonization effort in the territory, in the Levant, Palestine. And so where we fit into that as a community, as Long Beach City College, is besides the fact that we have students and community members here who have personal connections, as Trustee Zia does, to the effects of that violence in the region, which we all have to keep everyone in mind and say words, right? But beyond that, our role is financial contribution to extending the violence. And whether or not you are against the colonization effort that's happening in Palestine, whether or not you are against genocide, if you allow me to educate you, BlackRock is a financial management company that finances corporate America, period. Weapons manufacturers, big pharma, ICE detention centers run for profit. This divestment news, I come here to ask that you update the Futurist financial report page to reflect that change, if it is in fact true that it has come about, because we want our community to have something to refer to as to where we fit into this moment right now in history. Free Palestine, end the genocide in Gaza. Thank you.
Thank you. Are any of the other two speakers available?
Tony's not here.
All right. Okay, we're going to move on to section 16 on the agenda. Oh, okay, that's why I asked you all to be ready and come on up.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Oscar. I stand before you today to address a serious issue that has affected my education and the safety of my fellow students. As a former student of the LBCC construction department, I have witnessed firsthand the detrimental consequences of inadequate teaching, mismanagement of funds, and disregard for safety protocols. While the HR department has acknowledged the validity of my concerns, they have requested that I refrain from disclosing specific details for the sake of institutional integrity. However, I believe that transparency is essential to addressing these issues and ensuring the safety of future students. Our department has failed to adhere to local building codes, a fundamental requirement for any construction professional. This negligence poses a significant risk to public safety. Recently, a devastating house explosion highlighted the potential dangers of substandard construction practices. While this incident was not directly related to our school, it serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of inadequate education. Furthermore, the department's mismanagement of funds has led to the decline in quality of resources and opportunities. This has hindered our ability to learn and grow as future construction professionals. Additionally, the administration's retaliatory actions against those who raise concerns about safety have created a hostile environment that discourages students and professors from speaking out. I urge the school board, administration, and faculty to take immediate action to address these pressing issues. We deserve a department that prioritizes safety, provides quality education, and fosters a supportive learning environment. By implementing necessary reforms and maintaining transparency, we can ensure that our graduates are equipped with the knowledge and skills to contribute to a safer and more sustainable future. Thank you.
Thank you all for taking the time. Section 16 on the agenda is our adjournment. 16.1, the next regularly scheduled meeting of the Long Beach Community College District Board of Trustees will be held on Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. Closed session, if necessary, will be at 4:30. Open session will be at 5:30. At this time, I would like to adjourn tonight's meeting in honor of Beverly Norberg per Dr. Baxter's request. It is 6:47 p.m. and this meeting is now adjourned.